Hey, Terry, proposition for you.
Mm.
I maybe almost sideways is fun and all, but we should start our own podcast, go into business for ourselves. Call it Terry and Adam.
Or we could start a new podcast, but just inside the old podcast, and it's like two podcasts in one building, share the
Mm,
rent. We could call it it'd be like a side project on the side, like
oh
the
yeah,
like
something
the
side.
side. It could be like a side show,
Oh
like
yeah.
that could work. That could wait a second.
Welcome back to Daily Note Sideshow. We are breaking down another episode of Better Call Saul. This is
You just
actually
call us the Daily Notes Sideshow.
because that's kind of what you did for the opening. I was kind of like,
Oh, I see what you're doing. I just thought that you just had another. So I wanted
no,
to.
no.
Okay.
The trick is, pretend that I didn't have one. Anyway, we are back though with another fun and exciting episode of the Almost Sideshow, where we're breaking down Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
And this is going to be a really fun conversation. This is season 2, episode 7, titled Inflatable, which debuted 3/28. And before I get started, I have some housekeeping to do. I messed up on the date of the last episode, which was Bali High. I said 3/26. It actually came out 3/21. So I just want to full disclosure, cleaning up some stuff. So there we go.
Nobody's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe you never made a mistake.
Yeah, I lost that loving feeling. Yeah.
Ding, that's my Dumb and Dumber quote of the day.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Oh no,
All
it's Mr. Perfect. Sorry, Mr. Perfect. That's what it is.
There we go. Well,
I have this running thing. I have to quote Dumb and Dumber at least once a day. It just happens.
that's good. I quoted Forgetting Sarah Marshall today.
Nice. That was actually that was my second time quoting. Anyways, continue.
The weather outside is weather. So
I like it.
it's my favorite quote.
All right. Well,
Anyway,
let's focus back in here. We're already off the rails before we even start. Let's jump into this. Let's do our synopsis here, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Break it down.
All right. Here we go. Better Call Saul, season 2, episode 7 is entitled Inflatable. There you go. I did that just for you, Adam.
I know. Right. And I was supposed to say infallible, but that was not the right word. I was like, yeah, inflatable.
All right, here's our synopsis. Is Jimmy a sheep or a wolf? Well, he's been trying to be a sheep as a lawyer at Davison, Maine. Now he's ready to go back to the wolf. He can't quit or he loses his bonus. So he decides to make life miserable at Davison, Maine until they fire him. Now he's free to do things like help out his buddy Mike, who needs to officially earn his Salamanca payout by amending his statement with the police. He can no longer confirm that it was Tuco's gun. He's not saying it was his, but he's not saying it was Tuco's either. Now that that's over, he's buying his daughter-in-law a new house and stalking the Salamancas. So what else is Jimmy doing with his newfound freedom? He's headhunting Kim. How does Wexler McGill, attorneys at law, sound? Kim wants to be his partner, but not his business partner. So she goes to her interview with Schweikart and knocks it out of the park. Her offer is coming shortly. So does she stay with HHM or take the new job? How about plan C or D, whatever it is? Wexler and McGill, two separate firms, but under one roof. Share the rent, but not the clients. She gives Jimmy the proposal, who is back in his nail salon closet. Does he like the sound of it as much as Kim does? Intriguing.
Interesting synopsis there, Howard. Terry. This was great.
I see what you did there.
Great stuff. This was a fun episode. They always have great montages, and this has had to be one of the better montages that we've seen from Better Call Saul. Montage. with the inflatable. At first I thought, was that the car wash with an inflatable person in it?
Oh,
But
Bogdan would never have a
no,
the little French fry dude.
no. But I think it was like a teriyaki or there's a karate sign in the back. I think it's probably some food restaurant type of thing. But anyway, my head was going down that route for a second. But anyway, that montage was fantastic with the different suits and the double deckers that he took, the bagpipes, and that's it's really funny. Where basically it's like, yeah, you win, you're fired. It's like, what? No, it's like Mark Wahlberg in The Happening. What? No, that's not what I was doing at all. Darn, you got me.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Great stuff. And then I also think the business cards, man, he can come up with some really good business cards. I think that's probably one of the better business card scenes I've seen in a show or TV. I think American Psycho is up there too when they're comparing business cards. But yeah, Saul and Wexler, or Wexler and McGill, great business card. It's an interesting power rankings. I never thought that would have been interesting to go with. No, well, whatever. This was also just a fun, kind of interesting study on Mike's, like where his head's at with what's going on too. And I like how he is kind of like trying to scout out the Salamancas. Really like that a lot. So a solid episode. We answered some questions. We know why she had a Kansas City Royals shirt, because she was from a little small town with a hinky dinky near Kansas, Nebraska.
Yep, on the Kansas-Nebraska border. It's interesting. I have family that lives in a small town no one's ever heard of on the Kansas-Nebraska border. It'd be interesting to see
how close.
Yeah, well, and everything back there. I mean, Kansas City Royals are closest you get, so that all tracks. It all makes sense.
Is there a hinky dinky?
I don't know if there's a hinky dinky. That's a great question. I'll have to ask them. Yeah, this is a cool episode. It answers one of the questions we had. Will Jimmy make it to the end of the season as an employee of Davis and Maine? And no, he doesn't even make it to episode really 8. Really yeah. I thought it was going to be, for a second there, I thought, okay, I guess he's going to be stuck here and we're going to get miserable Jimmy. But no, he just like turns on the full on Slippin' Jimmy and busts his way out of there, which was pretty cool.
Jimmy out of there, yeah.
Yeah. You get into the head of all, like, we've got our 3 main characters still. You got Jimmy, Kim, and Mike. We get into the headspace of all 3 of them a little bit here, where Jimmy finally is able to break free, and you've got Kim thinking she might want to do the same. Mike is like doubling down on whatever is going on with the Salamancas. This is a character building episode where, like, that was one of the shorter synopses I've written.
Yeah, that's true.
But
you've said that a couple times this season.
Oh, this one was super short though.
Yeah.
But it was because so much of it was just character building and not necessarily stuff happening. Yeah. And yeah. I really dug this episode. It was interesting to see what was going on and where these characters were deciding to go.
Yeah, very entertaining episode throughout the 3 different storylines that we're getting right now too. Great montages, great smoking scenes on a roof, great business cards, great camp or lookout stuff. There's a lot of cool, interesting power rankings we could do just from this episode. And that's why it's one of the more fascinating things. We're really caring about these characters. So we don't even get Nacho in this episode. We really don't get
Chuck
or the Salamanca.
Howard.
Yeah, nothing like, we get his name, but that's about it. We get a lot of. We don't even get the other side characters of the show, but there's just so much like scenery to chew up here with a bunch of different characters, and we get a great moment with Omar and Aaron. As well. This is good stuff there. So really, I'm looking forward to breaking it down.
I feel like this is like the most Jimmy-centric episode we've had in a long time.
In a long time. That's right. Yeah.
Just because it was all surrounding him, and Mike and Kim were a part of it because they were part of Jimmy's story during this one, which I thought was interesting. There were very few parts that were not like coming back to what
Yeah.
Jimmy was doing.
Good point.
So what is your best scene of this episode?
All right, I'm gonna go with the opening sequence is my favorite scene of the thing. So it plays off what Chuck said earlier, where Jimmy was always stealing money out of the cash register. We get to see the very first time he does so, but it wasn't because he was such a bad kid. Is that his father never really listened to him and was kind of a pushover in a way. And so even though Jimmy, who has that Jimmyisms there starting at an early age, like, you're being conned, Dad. Like, I could see this from a mile away. I'm just a kid. The dad doesn't see that. And then also we get this really mysterious con man played by Steven Sneeden. I've seen that guy before, but we'll dive into that character, I'm sure. But it's obviously a very far-fetched story that you're like, obviously it's so unbelievable, but the dad buys it for some reason and goes back and looks for a spark plug, and then he has to man the registers, and the guy knows he's already, like, the kid's caught on to this. He's like, how much for a pack of cools? And I'll buy 2. Here's $8, or here's $8 or whatever. And he pulls out this separate wad of cash that the dad already had previously gave him $10. And he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to just take the $8 out of the register then. And that's where he becomes that wolf there. So we can kind of see where that started, but we also didn't see Chuck in that sequence. But I have a feeling maybe Chuck would have I don't know. I don't think Chuck would have bought into this con man story, but Chuck does have some animosity towards Jimmy because of what he did to his father. And this is where it kind of started. So cool to see some backstory like that.
Well, and go back to what Chuck said about the dad too. He said he always saw the best in every situation. He always wanted to believe the best, especially when it came to Jimmy. And this was a sign that he always was so naive and wanted to believe everyone that came through. When Jimmy really quickly figured out, no, that's not how this works, Dad. And it's like, well, if everyone else is going to take advantage of you and you don't care, then I'm going to take advantage of you and you shouldn't care. So yeah, no, that was a really interesting scene that showed you a lot about who Jimmy is and how he became who he is, but also about the dad. It was the first time we got to see him. So
yeah, very good point.
All right. I've got like 3 different scenes written down that I love from this.
Yeah, I got an extra one too. So
all right, I'll start with the scene where Jimmy gets fired. I thought that scene was so interesting because my favorite part of it is when Cliff just says, like, for once, treat me like I'm not an idiot.
It's a good line.
It wasn't. I think it was a fool. Treat me like I'm not a fool, and tell me what went wrong.
How did I wrong?
Because because how did this not work? Because I gave you every opportunity, and this should have worked. Why are you sabotaging it in this way? What did I do to you? And at that point, he lowers his guard and tells him, like, I'm a square peg. And it's like, then why did you take the job if you already knew that?
Yeah.
Like, well, and that's the whole point, right? His initial instinct was not to take the job,
but he did it because.
He thought it was the right thing to do. And yeah, like you said, he's spent his whole life trying to do what everyone else wants him to do and try to please everybody else, and he's done with that. It's time to do what he wants to do. So I thought that scene was really interesting, and how well Jimmy's able to just be like, oh, that wasn't my intention at all. That's not what I thought was going to happen. And then Cliff, by the end of it, is just like, cut the crap for just 5 seconds and let's have a real honest conversation for a second here before you walk out the door.
Yeah, I was just going to blow up steam like the guitar. I was just had my bagpipes. It was. Yeah.
The bathrooms and the suits and that was great. It was great.
Yeah, that's a great scene. I like that one a lot too. Yeah, anything with Ed Bagley Jr. This may be the last time we see that guy, but fun character.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted him to hop out of the office. Okay, back to work, everyone, because everyone's just standing. My favorite line, and I might don't want to give away something too early, but the optical migraine of your suits. That's a funny line.
That's a great great line. That's a good one.
Not discussing your optical migraine of a suit that you call it a business suit. It's funny.
It's a good one. All right, what was your backup scene?
Omar helps Jimmy when Jimmy's writing the letter about like giving his recognition. Like, oh, actually, if you quit, you're not gonna get the bonus, and gives him the tip off there. It reminded me like a little bit of like The Incredibles, where there's like this older lady going in, and because Mr. Incredible is like an insurance salesman. He's
yeah.
To give him all the wheeling, the dealings of the company. The movie's just recently on my mind. My kids have been like binge watching both of those movies, so that's why it's irrelevant. I just want to bring that one up randomly. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit too. And Omar is just one of those really cool characters that at first I thought he was going to be like his little secretary, a reception lady person, when he like pulled up in the U-Haul truck at the nail salon, but he was just helping him unload the desk. He's like, sorry, I lost you at the light. It's good stuff. But
yeah, it was good.
That
is a good one. Yeah, Omar's great. All right, my backup one was the proposal of Wexler McGill, the initial one that Jimmy gives to Kim, and how she navigates through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, conference room, it's free. I snuck in here. Howard doesn't know I'm here. And yeah. And Kim asks the question, are you gonna be, what kind of lawyer are you gonna be?
Straight.
Like, what do you mean? Are you gonna be straight, or are you gonna be colorful? and he starts to and I love it. He starts to answer it as, oh, straight. I'm gonna be straight down the line.
Yeah.
And then he looks at his ring. It's like, oh no, I gotta be me.
Marco.
I gotta be me. But right. I mean, he's gotta remember his buddy, and he's gotta be who he is. That's the whole reason he's doing it. Mm-hmm. He's not gonna, no more false pretenses. He's gonna be honest. He has to be. And yeah. And he says, okay, colorful. Sure. That's a good way to say it. I gotta be me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that great line. And then her line of why do you need me? It's like, I don't need you. I want you. It's like, well, you have me.
That's
just not as a business partner. It's like, that's exactly what he needed to hear in that moment.
He's like, do you want to see me tonight? Of course you are.
If you play your cards right.
Yeah.
It was like, see you later if you play your cards right, something like that. Yeah. It's good stuff. Okay.
Good scenes.
The Betsy Kettleman douchebag award.
Betsy Kettleman. Well, the con man kind of is a douchebag in this scene.
Yeah.
But I didn't want necessarily I think that's the low-hanging fruit there, unfortunately. So I guess the con man is what we'll put down here.
Okay. If you're gonna go with that, I'll go with someone else. I'll go with Return of the Camera guy.
Yeah,
that guy's just a punk. Like if we did a most punchable face, anytime he's on screen, he is the punchable face.
Yeah, that's true.
So that you could also say Erin is a douchebag just for the look she gives Jimmy that makes him want to slap her drink out of her hand.
She takes it out of her hand and throws it.
Takes it out of her hand, throws it away. Like she earned that.
Yeah, agreed.
She earned the petty moment.
Like somebody pooped didn't flush.
Oh yeah, there's that whole thing too.
But I read somewhere that they're 2 inches. It's the water reserve is 2 inches lower. 2 inches.
I don't want to shame anybody. I don't want I don't want to say, or I don't want to, make anyone feel bad. I don't even care who it is. It was me. Like I just said.
Such a
I just said. I didn't want to know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
His delivery of it was me. Yeah, don't worry, it was me.
Good old Jimmy. All right, Stickman Award.
Con man, Steven Sneeden. He's definitely a stick man. The con man.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely there, but he's also like the newer face. He's definitely well, actually, no, hold on. We're not going to jump that far. But yeah, I think that he's a good stick man. And looking at his filmography, has some stuff that he's been in, like Antoine Fisher with Denzel.
Okay.
2002, CSI Miami. He was in a movie called Con Man from 2018, which is kind of funny.
That is funny.
NCIS, Castle.
He played a guy named Smooth in Con Man.
Ooh.
Like that. That's just like.
Yeah, he's probably reprising his role.
Oh, starring Justin Baldoni. That's interesting.
Oh, that is actually. The
Armand Asante, Talia Shire, Mark Hamill. What?
This might be a come to the stable.
James Caan, Ving Rhames.
This is a pretty
Scott
good stat.
Patterson. What the hell is this? The story of Barry Minkow, a young, charismatic businessman who becomes a wealthy CEO by lying, cheating, and stealing his way to the top. Streaming on Prime right now.
Scott Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole Travolta. Bill Goldberg, the wrestler. Nice.
Yeah.
How is Ray Liotta not in this movie?
Right? Written and directed by Bruce McAllister. He's directed... This is the only feature-length film he's ever done.
Oh, he's also in the movie as Agent McAllister.
He named his character after himself. Yeah, this is a come to the stable movie right here. How did he get that cast if it's his first film? Like, what in the world are we doing here?
This is like my favorite segment when we deep dive the random characters. We're like, we need to write this down. Actually, I am writing this down. Con Man 2018. Streaming on Prime. Yeah, this is
Tom Hanks was interested in being in it too, but wasn't.
But wasn't in it.
Well, it was. It sounds like there's a scene where they show like the old version of the character. So it sounds like Justin Baldoni plays the guy, and they have an older version, and Tom Hanks wanted to play him, but the guy decided to play himself as the older version.
That makes sense. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. That's a fun one that we'll have to check out. Michael O'Hearn is in it. He is he's the bodybuilder that in Magazine Dreams.
Oh,
that
really?
Jonathan Majors idolizes.
That's interesting.
Wow. Like, what in the world?
That's Mr. Green.
What kind of movie is this?
And it only has 1,200 votes on IMDb too.
We have to watch this movie. All right. Yeah, we're watching that movie. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay, Stickman. We're on Stickman. We jumped ahead to Best New Face, and we're digging into filmography.
Well, my Steven was my Stickman too.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Okay, so I'll give both mine here. My Stickman is Omar, because he's got to get home to his kids if he's got kids. Confirmed Stickman. Which is what we've been thinking about this entire time, and we've been considering, and it might be our last Omar sighting. So let's shout him out as much as we can. All right, Best New Face. This was easy for me as soon as I saw him. It is Pops McGill, played by Raphael Sparge. I recognize this guy every time I see him. He was in one of my favorite shows when I was like in high school, which was The Guardian with Simon Baker. He was one of there were like 4 or so main characters, and he was one of them. And yeah, he was awesome. I'm trying to find it here on his filmography. It's here somewhere. The Guardian. He was in 67 episodes of The Guardian playing Jake Straka. And for me, this guy will always be Jake Straka. He was awesome in that show. And that show was awesome. Yeah, it was Simon Baker, Alan Rosenberg, Raphael Sparge, Dabney Coleman. Those were like the 4 main characters. Yeah, if you've never seen the show, it's an awesome show. It's about a big shot lawyer who gets in trouble for drugs and has to serve community service by doing pro bono work in a like public defender type of place. And so it's him like working through being still a hotshot lawyer in his father's firm, and also doing the side work, which becomes a passion project for him. Really cool show. And it was my first exposure to Simon Baker, and he's awesome in it. But
every time you mentioned Guardian a couple times on the side show, and I always like the Ashton Kutcher, Kevin Costner movie.
No. This show, Baker. Great.
Yes,
and it's not. And I've mentioned Raphael Sparge recently too, because he's in Friendship.
Yeah, Friendship. Yeah.
And have you seen that yet?
No, I was good.
No, yeah. He's in Friendship, and just as one of the guys, and it was really weird to see him. I was like, I feel like you're too old to be in this moment, but apparently not. And I guess he was also in 46 episodes of Once Upon a Time, but I've never seen that. He was in Risky Business. Like, he goes back a ways. So, yeah.
Yeah, Risky Business. Yeah, then yeah, I think my wife had seen Once Upon a Time. She's a big fan of that show. That's a good familiar new face too. Yeah, that's a good one.
He was in 32 episodes of a show called Murder in the First. And then he did some spot stuff in a couple things. He was in 3 episodes of Dexter. I don't remember him in Dexter. When was he in Dexter? Season 5. Episodes 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, the later seasons I've only seen like once, so I'd have to go back and watch that again to see exactly where. 6 episodes of Prison Break. Prison Break. Season 4. So that would have been. So he's in the later stuff when they're trying to get Scylla. I think. Interesting. So he's in it near the end. Don't fully remember that, but it doesn't matter. He's always Jake Straka to me. He'll always be Jake Straka. So it was cool to see him. I heard his voice and I knew who it was before I even saw his face. Like, I know this actor well.
That's funny.
It was a good new face to see. It was definitely a hey, that's Danny Trejo moment.
There we go.
All right, minor character.
Yeah, my familiar face too. I'll throw up young Jimmy Blake. Bertrand. Not because I've seen his face anywhere before, but apparently he was in How I Met Your Mother as young Marvin Jr., which wasn't that Jason Segel's character? So he was like, he played their kid?
No, Marshall.
That's Marshall. Who's Marvin?
I don't know.
Never mind. Then this is.
I don't know.
Never mind. Disregard.
I'm checking here. Marvin Jr. Do you see a Marvin Sr.? And I think it's Marshall's brother.
Yeah, that's right. There we go.
Marvin, Marcus, and Marshall are the brothers.
Okay, there we go. That makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, so it's not nothing, but it's just like an interesting. He's been like extra this, additional voices here, young Jimmy here. Boy One, young Ronnie Russo from Last Night in Russo. It's a 50-minute short. I don't know. It's last
apparently that episode of How I Met Your Mother, Bob Odenkirk was also in, and I saw recently that Bob Odenkirk was like going back and forth between recording his spots on How I Met Your Mother and recording his spots in Breaking Bad for a little while.
Oh, that's
because
funny.
he plays Barney's boss in How I Met Your
Mm,
Mother, and so he was kind of going back. He was going back and forth doing both of them at the same time.
that's funny.
Anyways, let's get back on track
Anyway,
here.
back
Minor character.
minor character of this episode.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, go first in this one.
All right, I have Jack the janitor, played by Luke V. Randall.
Oh, from
That
Michigan.
yeah, I'm from Michigan,
Yeah,
and apparently he needs to be taught how to vacuum
backwards.
and backwards. You go backwards.
That's a good one. I think that's the winner there.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool moment.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
All right, just move on.
Yeah, we're good there. I
Move on.
can't top that.
All right, best Saul one-liner.
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. There was some really good ones, but I have a momentary lapse of reason. Cliff, it's me. I didn't flush. That's probably my favorite. And it's a Cliff line, but the optical migraine is also a really funny line. So the Cliff, it was me. I didn't flush. That line delivery was amazing.
Yeah, that was good. I had when he's talking to Omar. Can we just rewind the tape and forget this ever happened?
Yeah, rewind that.
How many things does Jimmy think that about? And then when he's in with Mike, it could have fallen from a bird's beak, and he was trying to throw it away. We don't know.
Could have fallen from a bird's beak. He was trying to make a nest.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
It's like, I had my own run-in with the Salamancas. Don't want to get into it, but he had me hog-tied in the desert.
Yeah.
He broke two guys' legs in front of me. I talked him down, or I don't even know.
Why are you telling me this?
It was a deal and a half. I'm just like, who says that? It's a deal and a half.
Jimmy, yeah, that's it.
And you're telling me why?
That's a good one.
Don't be too hard on yourself. Discretion is the better part of valor. That was another.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Right there.
That's a good one.
All right. Midlife crisis moment. Oh no, best Breaking Bad reference.
There's
Breaking Bad
two.
reference.
There's two.
Yeah.
The realtor's back.
Is that the real?
It's the realtor, Stephanie Doswell. Same one. Pull it up.
From which?
It's the one where she was stealing. The episode Marie was stealing.
No, it's not that.
It's the same one. She's in the same episode, or she's in Breaking Bad.
She's in. Okay, she might be in Breaking Bad, but she's not the one that she steals from.
Well, it's.
I guarantee you, it's not the one she steals from.
Real estate agent Jennifer Hasty.
Yeah, I don't think she's the one. I have my doubts, but let's find out. Because she sees several. Oh no, I guess it is. She looks so different.
Yeah, she looks way different.
Way, way, way different. Like I was thinking, there's no way, because I know exactly what both of them look like, and I'm like, there's no way that's the same person. You mean that's the same guy? The Great Bambino.
Yeah.
No way.
It's
no way. Talk about like the most random, like it's a random character that you're never going to spot because she is like night and day different. Like I found a picture that shows a side by side of her in Breaking Bad versus her in Better Call Saul. It's not the same person. It's not the same person. It's not the same person. I don't care what it says. It's not the same person. And if it is, I mean, good for you. She looks great. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
I would have never seen that ever. I saw the pictures and I still don't see it. Wow. Okay. You got me on that one.
And then
Okay,
there was
so
also, go ahead.
I wrote down the suits. The first appearance of the Saul Goodman suits.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What did you have as the other one?
There was something, that lady that was in the office.
Lady in the office.
What's that? That's Suzanne Erskine.
Erickson.
Yeah, that's it.
Erickson.
I just saw 28 years later, and he pronounces Erickson. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, anyway, disregard. But yeah, she's in El Camino.
Okay, so she's got to be
One of the people in the background of
but in this one, she was like the one behind the desk, right? When
she's like, "Are you
Mike
sure
is
that?"
changing his statement, right?
Yeah,
The one said, so did they threaten you or pay you off?
yeah.
Like, she's the one that says that. Okay, I don't remember where she pops up in El Camino, but that's a good catch too.
Yeah, she what does it say here? El Camino.
I had
Claire.
that. I also had that scene as a Breaking Bad reference because you get to see Jimmy kind of pull a Saul there of just like walking in and spinning his stories and talking his circles and being his slimy little self for like the first real time, or first, I mean, not the first time, but in one of the first times we've seen it.
Good stuff. She said, it says, along with Clarence, Erickson is one of two characters to appear in both Better Call Saul and El Camino, but not Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Very interesting.
That is interesting.
Anyway.
I'm curious now. I'm gonna look up a picture of it. Okay. Midlife crisis moment. Go.
All right. A midlife crisis moment. Quiet quitting is what Saul was doing, or Jimmy was doing. No, but for real, taking up new hobbies. He took up a lot of new hobbies in this one. Taking up playing the bagpipes. Going to the pawn shop to buy some bagpipes. Sandpiper, bagpiper. There we go.
Apparently she's like in the news footage of the aftermath of Breaking Bad at the start of El Camino. So she's just one of the government people. That makes sense. Okay. Quitting quietly. That was your thing?
Well, no, also taking up new hobbies.
Oh, taking up new hobbies. That's right.
I made a lame joke of sandpiper, bagpiper.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. All right. I have some, and I think I've said this before, but it's just reiterated here so clearly that sometimes the best move doesn't feel like the right move. And I give it to Jimmy for calling it out. It's like, I'm the square peg. Like I don't fit. It's like, well, if you don't fit, why'd you say yes? And like, cause you're supposed to say yes. Mm-hmm. Like that's the thing. But he's got a point. Like sometimes the best move isn't the right move. And I've got to do what's right. And good on him for actually doing what's right. So that was what I had. That's what I had.
I like it.
LVP.
Well, I put the optical migraine that is Jimmy's suit, but I don't like that. I like Aaron though. Aaron's a good LVP.
Mm-hmm. Shout her out one last time while we can.
Yep. 2 words: brown and nose. Yeah.
Yes. My LVP is young Jimmy. To be convinced just by some random grifter that he needs to now steal from his father constantly. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need to do that. But I mean, he sees and he saw the easy mark, and he is taking advantage of the easy mark. So
Solid point.
MVP.
Omar. Got to do it one more time. Omar's the MVP here.
Omar's awesome in this episode. He really is. Yeah, that's a great call.
Helps move a heavy ass desk.
I mean, Coco Bolo. Yeah, maybe Coco Bolo might be the MVP.
Yeah, that's the other one too. They make a damn fine desk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go something you shouted out recently. Business card design.
Mm-hmm.
That's my MVP. Like that is
not bad.
That's a damn fine business card. Like that's cool. Like, and having like the cutout for the letters, like
pretty cool,
dude. That's awesome.
But how does that?
It's gonna be flimsy as hell, but
yeah,
it's gonna
the structural integrity of that business card. It's not going to last long. But
no, we're really worried about structural integrity of the business card. I mean,
no,
I don't know.
It looks cool. Like, oh yeah, I saw this really cool business card. Yeah.
How many other? You're gonna remember it.
That's got to be a Mount Rushmore or a Power Rankings at some point. Business cards. Whenever we like deep dive American Psycho, there's the Power Rankings. It's just
that,
right
the Mount Rushmore. Yeah,
I like that. Business cards. Yeah,
definitely up for consideration. Has to be the Santa Claus.
That's another one. I forgot about that one. Forgot about this.
That's just off the top of my head. All right, we've got 3 episodes left in the season.
Crazy.
What's going to happen?
Well, they're going to get their own inflatable man at their new law firm. It's going to be at that strip mall.
You think so? Yeah. Are we heading there already? I
was surprised how quick that he quit Davis in Maine. So if they're going into business with each other, they can't work in that back office of the spa or the nail salon.
True. Well, yeah, they're going to get their own space, but you really think Kim is going to quit and give up the offer she has to open up a law firm in a strip mall?
They got to start up from the bottom now they're here. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, Jimmy almost had that one office space that would have been brilliant.
But also had a lot of bad money with that. He had.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Totally think that big.
I don't know if we're heading to the strip mall quite yet. No. I'd be surprised if we do, because I think Kim is better than that, because Kim understands appearances.
Yeah, you're very very true. So probably not, but at the same time, sometime it will happen.
I'm wondering, how is this season going to end? And it has to revolve around Mike and the Salamancas. Something has to happen there. And like we got that shot of him stalking them. And we know a little bit of, where we end up. Like, Hector's still around. Tuco is going to still be around. The cousins are still going to be around.
Nacho
has got to be somewhere in this mix. I guess. Maybe it's the henchman. I don't know. But something's got to go down. Like maybe Mike's about to take out Hector, and then he has a stroke. Does Mike cause the stroke? I mean, you've got some interesting stuff that could pop up here. Could his feud with Hector lead to his friendship with Gus?
And that's how the stroke happens. It's not bad.
I mean,
the introduction of Gus could be the big final episode thing.
That could be that could be what ends our season. That's not bad.
Yeah, the introduction.
But something's got to go down there. Yeah, and I'm curious to see. Jimmy didn't answer Kim at the end of the episode? I think the answer is yes. It's got to be. He has to say yes. Because, I mean, even if it's not what he wants, it's close enough that he's going to go with it. But is it really what he wants?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
how long does it last? Does Kim just do it for a little while and be like, sorry, I'm out? I could see that happen too. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot potential that's going to be up in the air. So yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. And we're going to get to that next week. You're looking down. Stop looking up Reddit threads. You got to stop doing it.
I'm not looking up Reddit threads.
Don't look it up. Don't try and figure it out beforehand.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's why I'm here, folks. Anyway. All
right.
I'm not doing that.
Any last words?
I wasn't doing it. I was framed. That's not what's going to happen. No, what's going to happen is Ed Begley Jr. grows a ponytail and becomes Strange Darling. He's going to retire. Anyway, I'm pushing it.
Was it his ponytail? I cannot confirm that it was his ponytail. It wasn't mine. I don't know if it was his. It might have fallen out of a bird's beak. He may have just been getting rid of it on the back of his head.
Yeah, they pinned a ponytail on the back of the guy's head.
I love silly. I love stupid.
All right, well, yeah, this is dumb. All right, we're gonna move on. Until next week, everybody. We'll be talking more Better Call Saul next week with episode 8 of season 2. My name's Adam. That is Terry, and we have one more thing to do.
Better Call Saul.
Sit and spin, you buttholes.
Butthole.